Hi, I am Captain Justice. Putting an ankle monitor on violent crime allows violent criminals to prey on our unsuspecting community.
How do electronic ankle monitors work? They are a way to track offenders' movements and whether or not they violate their probation. An ankle monitor is essentially a high-tech global position system, GPS. It allows corrections departments to see the real-time movements of offenders to be immediately aware of any infractions. Google definition April 30, 2021.
Most of these people are all just our community neighbors, friends, family, people from our church, people from our schools.
Mitchell says if done right, electronic monitoring helps the inmates learn to live within the law in their own environment.
People are finally realizing we can't just put them in jail and have that be the corrective behavior.
But there is a liability to electronic monitoring. Brown County carefully screening each inmate and using the technology to make sure they're not a danger to the community while on the program. Brown County tells me they rarely have an offender try to cut off their bracelet, and if that were to happen, there would be an alarm right away. I also talked with Outagamie County, who says they have around 70 to 80 adults on electronic monitoring and also have a success rate of around 90%. Megan Lowry, NBC 26.
Judges use risk assessments to determine who they release on electronic monitoring.
I think it does a very good job if it's for the right people.
It's a big problem.
It comes at a time when there's growing criticism of the electronic monitoring program, coupled with what Charmeck Court Watch calls a more lenient new bail policy.
The taxpayers are paying the price for it.
A policy that's given people charged with violent crimes a better chance at getting out of jail with electronic monitoring ahead of their trials.
I think it's been watered down so much now.
It's especially concerning to people like Lucille Puckett.
The system is failing people.
We recently discovered nearly 1 out of every 4 people wearing an ankle monitor is charged with a violent crime. 20 people facing murder charges, including the man accused of killing her son.
It's disheartening.
He is one of roughly 80 people who've cut off their electronic monitoring device so far in 2019. The city on pace to see at least as many ankle monitor cuts this year as last, maybe even more than the 120 in all of 2018. And of those, at least 15 are still at large.
Yeah, so who is allowed to wear ankle monitors already has the police chief and judges at odds over public safety. Tonight, our defenders team is identifying yet another flaw in the controversial program meant to keep tabs on people charged with crimes.
Nathan Morbido learned some defendants who wear ankle monitors are letting their devices batteries.
Just like anything that runs on batteries, ankle monitors get drained too. And when the batteries die, some accused criminals disappear. Booked last month on charges of robbery and theft, Clifton Greer walked out of jail ordered to wear an ankle monitor. 2 weeks later, police launched a manhunt after they say he allowed his electronic monitor to die. A month prior, an even more disturbing case. Police charged a teen with raping and robbing a woman, just days after they say he let his ankle monitor dead batteries are not nearly as common as ankle monitor cuts, but they are part of the problem. Chief District Court Judge Reagan Miller wouldn't talk on camera, but in this unpublished letter sent to the Charlotte Observer, defended the bail policy and county's longtime electronic monitoring program, adding, pointing fingers and placing blame with one another will get us nowhere. Judge Miller said the worst fear of any judge is that a person released from jail will commit another crime, but said judicial officials cannot start punishing a person before his or her trial.
This device can only tell us where they were, not what they're going to do.
People like Clifton Greer. After more than a week on the run with his ankle monitor battery dead, he's now back in jail and facing new charges ahead of his trial, including resisting an officer. Nathan Morabito, NBC Charlotte.
Red Monster here says, "It is great to be me, not Captain Justice." Shaking my head.